So this is part 2 of making a new steering joint, pivoting joint for this old boat motor here. Got a pile of stuff to do here, so let's just get right into it here. I got these two bars here, and you can see these are kind of a round piece going out here. And I'm gonna make 2 of those out of these. I'm gonna just drill and tap for M12 in the middle, so then can make something similar to these. Screw these into here, and then they are gonna, these is sitting like this, so the motor is kind of, or the engine is kind of rubber isolated from the rest of the boat. And then I'm going to run all 3 taps through here, because I'm going to tap all the way to the bottom of that hole. You can see, there you can see that this one is grinded quite far, and this one is just grinded just a couple of threads. And that's so it's easier to start cutting, and then you can finish the hole pretty well to the bottom of the hole to get threads all the way pretty well to the bottom of the hole. Get the tail stuck here with a live center set up here, so I can get this tap in really as straight as I can, because if you go in without it, you can get it crooked, and if you're gonna just go a little bit, it's fine. But if you're gonna go long hole, you know, the hole is here, and you're gonna, you know, go, that is not gonna work. You can cut the thread the whole way at least. It's gonna take stop eventually. And using adjustable wrench here, and that is because this thing is too wide, so then the live center can't go into this little hole in the end of the tap here. And just turning the wheel there a little bit on the tail stock there, just to keep it snug against the tap here, not really pushing, just making sure you can't move in any direction. And you get it a little easier to tap here. Oh yeah. You really just have to go in it far enough so you know you won't go, you know, start going straight and then you go crooked again when you start tapping like this. It might be at the bottom already. Now I can use the middle tap here. tap a little further in. And then the one with the least grind on it. That was tight. So that is one piece done. And here's two. I found this chunk of, I don't know, or it's 10 by 50 mil flat bar here that I'm going to use to make this whole piece up here out of that. And I got this marked out here. I'm gonna go ahead and bend it right there and right there. And then I'm gonna just fill these holes. And I'm gonna cut it out here and I'm gonna drill a hole there. So let's start by drilling a hole there. So I got this thing set up here in the vise, and I'm gonna try heating this up. And now we have a torch that we just borrowed, sadly. But I'm gonna use that, try heat this up and bend it over. We didn't just borrow it for this, we needed it for something else. But we still have it here, so I'm gonna use it. So let's try heating this up here and bending it over to this angle roughly. So that torch there, well, it's kind of funky and I've been messing around a bit trying to get it working, but it doesn't work. So I'm just I don't have time to mess around with that, and so I'm just gonna go and cut that off there, cut it down so leave like 2 mil or something on there and there. And then I'm just gonna bend it to the right angle, weld it back together, and it all should be good. So this thing is all welded up here, looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and grind this down and clean it up now a bit. So this thing is all looking nice. Ouch, it's kind of hot still. Turned out pretty good even if I had to cut it and weld it there. Yeah, that's looking okay. That thing is just gonna go like that. And then it is pretty perfect actually. So just gonna have a, yeah, that is good. Now about these ones, when you put them on either side of this thing like that, they're a little too wide, so I'm gonna have to make a little notch in both of these, about 1/2 centimeter in. So I got these nice and ground here. I also put a little bevel here so I can get a little more place for the weld on the bottom. Fits there pretty nice now, like that. And then this piece is just gonna go like that, and I'm gonna have to cut it off that line there because it's a little long. So let's go ahead and cut this off, and then we can tack everything together at least and see that it actually fits here late after I tacked it together. So got this thing tacked together. I'm gonna take this off here. This was just something to try to minimize all of this stuff here that I didn't want it on here. The splatter or whatever it's called. This in here, or on there, and this in there. Now I don't have any plastic washers, so this thing kind of flops around in here. But I'm trying to center it up a little there. This looks pretty darn good. This looks pretty good to me. The squareness there and how this thing is coming out here looks really nice. So I think it is just to go ahead and weld that up right there. So I got this thing welded up here, looking pretty nice, and I changed this fabric out to some aluminum foil, and that should work much better. Well, I knew it would catch on fire, but yeah, this should be better. And I got another little piece cut that I'm gonna weld in there, and I'm gonna weld on just like a centimeter long little piece of this 8mm round bar on right there, and you'll see what that's for in a minute. Oh, I got this thing kind of cleaned up here. It's not gonna win any award, any prizes for being nice, but should be plenty functional. Though I saw a problem right now. You can see how these are slightly tapered in. Well, that's quite the problem, because it's this thing should be about half a centimeter that way, almost. It's like maybe 4 mil or something. If I measure there, you can see this bolt should be right there. So that's not great. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about that, because not have to like cut all this off and weld it back together or make a new something. I don't know, because it is gonna fit like this in here, that, and then well, if one is in the center of these, if it's in the center there, one, you know, other one is touching here, so that's kind of a big problem. I didn't see that before now. I don't know when it happened, because when I welded this, or at least tacked it all on, it was perfect. This had the same distance here as it was here, and that was a good distance. But now it's not, so... I did go ahead and fix this problem that they were tapered. I just cut the weld out and bend them out a little bit and welded it back together. So, got this thing all nice, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe not super nice, but it's all cleaned up here a bit. Yeah, I was just to put this thing on, but it's not, because it's hitting. And I knew that. Put that on there, and then you just run that along there. Right, these roughly centered, maybe. I'll try at least. Not super precise, but about right there. So got this thing notched out a little. I mean, I could have made it this, you know, this thickness here all the way around, or this diameter, but I don't know. No, I didn't. Put this on here, and now it fits right there. And then you should just go in there, and this should be able to turn like that. And that is pretty, well, perfect, I think. Yeah, now happy because this package finally showed up here yesterday or something like that. So let's get that opened up. Yeah, some Imperial bolts. Not for this project though. That's for my tractor project. Either way. Here we have a piece of plastic, or whatever you call it. So if you watched the last video, you saw that there was some bushings in here that was just completely, well, I mean, we maybe could reuse them, but they were just garbage. So what we did was we ordered this piece of plastic and it finally showed up here. So let's go ahead and see if we can make a couple bushings. So I don't remember what plastic this was, but I can put it on the screen there. And I'm just, yeah, this seems to work pretty good. Cutting it with just a regular wood saw, just to cut it off a piece so I can get it in the lathe. Let's get this thing in the lathe here, and let's drill a 28mm hole in this, and then we'll just bore it out to, I don't know, final diameter. So I already drilled the pilot hole because I didn't, well, hitch a cord or something. I've got a 28mm drill bit in here now. It drills really nice, at least. A lot easier to drill with metal. Look at this thing. I mean, it drills nice, but it's not so nice because it's so clogging up in. It's not like metal that, you know, coming two strings out here usually, and, you know, all the material kind of clears out. Gets stuck in there, and then I extended my tail style or the coil here too far, so there we go. Yeah, I unscrewed it. Yeah, I unscrewed it too far. So I got a couple different mooring bars here, but none of them are good because they are too short, and then they got the shape like this, so that when you turn, I mean, this goes past here, but if you want to turn further than this, it's gonna hit, and then you don't have enough clamping area either, so that's no good. And then this thing is obviously too short, and this thing is too big, and this is just stuff we got with a lathe. But I have this, which would work, I think. It at least would work, but it, like, this part here is 28, and from here to there it's 30mm. So theoretically I would be able to go in with this this side like touching over here, and this thing here like taking off. Yeah, so the hole it makes will be 30mm. So I'm gonna try it at least. So I found a combination here that would, or random garbage laying around here that would make that to be the same height. So this thing all lined up here, and should just be to take a cut. Gotta check here, so nope, good, I'm checking because that's like 31mm. That ain't right. But that doesn't matter because this is like a bit longer than it needs to be, so I could just cut that off. $29.8 or so. I suppose I could just take a hair more, and then maybe go another pass of taking off just a half a mil or so. I think that would be perfect. Oh, look at that, it's all packed in there with chips. You can probably see the surface finish in there. It's not great, but you know what? It's actually great because the grooves will hold a little extra grease in there, so that'll be perfect. So I suppose let's take a pass on around half a mil, I think. Would be okay, maybe? I don't know what clearance it should have, but... That is really freaking nice. Just hope it fits now. Just get a bit of steps in here. That's not great, but you know what? That is too loose almost. Why is it that? Isn't this 30.1? And isn't that? It is 30.1. Maybe it's a little too low, but whatever. It'll work. Just pump that full of grease and it should be perfect. So what I'm gonna do here is, well, I have the inside turned out. So that's all good now. And here, I said I'm gonna make a groove here on the inside, and then it's gonna look something like this. This is the wall. If you cut it in half, it would look like this. So it's gonna be a groove in here. And then I'm gonna drill a hole in some place so I can get the grease in. Then the grease can go all the way around in that groove, and then kind of, you know, push out here all the way around the shaft. So I'm gonna go in 21 millimeters from the end, and then I'm gonna go down maybe a millimeter or so, and then go over about a centimeter, I think. And then that should be a little groove in there for the grease. It is a couple little grooves here that is, you know, it's slightly bigger starter, so I'm just gonna take off about, I don't know, 6 millimeters or so off the end, and then I'm gonna go in and try to make a groove. Get that faced off here a bit. So it's looking all good there. So now I'm just gonna have to know how much we're gonna go in. Which I don't have an indicator so I can put on here, which I really should buy, but haven't done that yet. I'm just gonna have to kind of just guess, I suppose. And what I've done here is I marked out 4 locations here. So I'm gonna go into the first mark, plunge in about a millimeter, then go over to that mark, go out, and then go over to that, plunge in, go into there, go out, go back out, and then I should have 2 little grooves in the right spot. And then I put a little stop there. So that's about 0.8 millimeter out. And so I'm just gonna go until I'll touch that. And I think that should be good enough. is at least 2 grooves in there. So I just hope they're in the right place. It's pretty nice surface finish, I gotta say that. Probably already said that a pile of times, but whatever. So now I'm gonna try to turn the OD down. And I should have made it like, I don't know, a good bit longer because I don't have much to hold on to here, but I have to go. Just gonna have to put this thing like right on the edge there. Trying to not crush it. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have made it a lot longer, but yeah. It will work. I have to, yeah, can't. Because if I just tighten it a lot, it's just gonna crush it. So put the tail stuck up to it a little bit and hope it goes good. I'm gonna check so I'm not taking off too much here. And I am. Well, I'm not actually. Because the first one, the long one, which is gonna be 52 mil, I'm gonna make it 42 mil. It's gonna be 36, and the other 10 mils is gonna be just under 40. So I'm not gonna be taking it further than, oh, there, probably a little shorter. And what was this now? I think that's 42.7, which I think should be perfect. .1. Maybe just a hair more, and then this is a little bit of a press fit. That's gonna be 39.9 and this is like 40.7. So it's gonna go off about a millimeter. So that's all looking pretty darn nice, I think. That should be good. And I'm just gonna swap tools here. And we'll part this off and we can get turning on the next one. Gonna hit the edges here with a little file first. Okay, I think that bevel there was a little excessive, but I'm used to metal that you have to really push into it to get it to take it. This was kind of an aggressive file too, so. But I think that is looking pretty nice. So let's just do the second one here. another really nice bushing. I'm really happy with this. Just gonna take this edge off here a little bit. There we go. Super nice. Really happy with that, how this turned out. You know, turned out to. No, that wasn't funny. I'm just really happy with these. Maybe it doesn't look much, but it was a bit of work, and yeah, but it is really nice. Just hope they fit. So this one is, I'm not gonna put them in now. I'm gonna put them in a little later here, but okay, that one's a little loose, I think, but it doesn't matter. These are all done nice now, and then I made some little spacers here. Just turn them and clean them up a bit. And now I'm gonna start here on trying to do something with these. Well, these are just gonna throw, but I'm gonna make some new ones. So these, I'm gonna take these rubber pieces that we got, which is actually not, it's a pretty good size, and it's a pretty snug for a 12 mil. And the other threaded rod here fits in there pretty snug, so that's good. So, but I have to, you know, it's too big, so I'm gonna have to make it smaller. That's also the diameter there. So, how are we gonna do that? So, I'm gonna screw a lock nut on, the spacer, and then this rubber piece, and then I'm gonna have to turn it down, or maybe I should cut it down before actually, because then I can get this another spacer on here and the lock nut. You would like probably to have a little wider, but I can't because it has to fit in there, because the rubber piece is just gonna go in here, and then it's gonna come, the piece is going to clamp down on these rubber pieces, and you don't, and it's kind of not, you don't want it to touch these spacers. You don't want to touch the aluminum housing, kind of, because then the rubber serves no purpose really. Then you could just bolt it. You want a little vibration dampening there. But enough talking now. Let's see if you can get these screwed on. Put this in here. You can clamp. Thread rod's kind of, you know, not too tight because you don't want to destroy the threads there. But if you don't do it too tight, it's just fine. I'll just screw it on top here or something. It doesn't take that long. Clean up the other end too. Got this thing here now, and I'm not sure, because this thing is 46 and it should be 32 or so. So it's quite a lot to remove, so I just thought maybe I should just do a cut on the bandsaw, just cut this off. So I'm kind of marked it there a little bit so I can see how much is it cut off, and then I just screwed it in like a centimeter or so, just so I can get some way to hold it. I'm just gonna cut it like that. It actually turned out pretty nice cut. Now this thing should, yeah, I think that's pretty good. I thought I'd make it a little bigger first, but I think it is okay. Yeah. Well, not great, but yeah, that's pretty good actually. So now I'm just gonna try to screw this through here. That is enough. Just screw this in a little bit. past the end there. Ouch. And then this is just to screw this up a lot. That spins a bit easier than I thought it would. I hope I still can turn this though. So let's see if we can get this thing in here now. Rubber is kind of special to turn because it's soft and stuff. So I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna turn out and what I'm gonna use, because you really need like really sharp tools. So I don't know what I'm really gonna use. Here, this party of tool here, I'm just gonna see what happens because that is pretty sharp. It does cut it. Not like you would do with metal or plastic, but it does work. But I'm gonna change it out to something else. So I got this thing put in here that I have sharpened on the Tormek, so it's pretty sharp. So let's see how that does. Not nice surface finish, but I mean, except that, I mean, I don't have much to complain about, honestly. It does turn it, does take off pieces, so I don't know. So I've got something to cut pretty good here. I'll show you later what I did. I got a rubber sheet here. I mean, it's not nice surface finish anything, but it's a functional. That is 35. It should probably go just a little more. This worked really good actually. Let's see. Ooh, just under 34, but I think that's actually what it is. So I'm just gonna take a file and try to round these edges off a bit. Not nice and smooth and anything, but it doesn't need to be either. To me, that is a win. Success. Right there. I think that is really nice. That is actually a lot better than I ever thought it would turn out, if I should be honest. I'm really happy with that. What I did here was took this cheap little boring bar that I bought sometime and just turned it. You can see the flats there are not, you know, you really should clamp on the flats, but I put it like that so we really get a high angle on it, you know, like that. You know, this thing is usually level, but when you're turning rubber you want the rake angle, right, really high. So I just turned it up. And then I took this little insert that was broken over to the Tormek, just sharpened it so it's really sharp on the point there. And then you can cut these rubber sheets. I saw that on YouTube how you did it. I should be honest, but this worked really good. Yeah, perfect. And there we go. 2 of these done. Let's hope this thing fits too. Maybe it's just a hair too large. This is 34.5 or so, and this is just 34, so maybe it's half a mil too big, but this piece they're gonna go over here, they're gonna tighten down with 3 8mm bolts, so I think it's just good that it gets some pressure on there. It should be perfect. Really hold this, really clamp it down and hold it in place. I think that would be good. This, it's not super exact. This is, you know, close enough, should be good enough here, I think. Looks about right too, so let's go cut these off. So what do you think? I think that's quite an improvement over the old stuff here. And then what this is in the back here, I have no idea. I didn't even care about trying to make something that I don't know even. Whatever. This should be perfect. Just go down like these, like that, and the other little piece is gonna go over here, and these should just fit in here now, like that. And then I'm just gonna put a jam nut on there too, so when we screw these in, then we can just screw that in, just tighten it up, and these should not unscrew. So these are done. Another part, some parts is done, and that's nice. Now I think it's probably for one of the worst things I'm gonna do on this project. That is stuck bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I have to get them out, and they're all broken off and nice. But that is next video's problem. That's all for now, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.